Alright, so the introduction to this video was too damn long. I was explaining too damn much, and I don't want to do that. Basically, I am about to start telling you about a scenario that me and a guy that I messed around with one time. After that, fuck it. It's about to start. Y'all get what I'm saying. This is the scenario. So we're talking, and he's talking about this girl that he's dating. He's like, damn, Diamond, I really like her. Now, she's a natal-born woman. He was like, man, I really like her. She's funny. I like hanging out with her. But, we're getting to know each other. And I feel like if we're going to start this off on some real shit, I need to tell her we're starting to talk about sexual stuff that we have done in the past. I don't want to start this off on a dishonest note. I want to tell her, that I've messed around with a transsexual on a sexual basis, but I've never messed with a guy, but I messed around with a transsexual, and you know how I got down, because you my first tranny. So I'm like, all right. So my initial reaction would have been, no, don't tell her. Take that to the grave. She's not gonna be cool with it. Leave that alone. She don't need to know. But I didn't do that. For selfish reasons of my own, I wanted to see what the response would have been. So I said, well, do it. Tell her. I didn't feel no kind of way about it because he wanted to tell her. He wanted to. So I just, instead of deterring from his decision, I let him run with the decision. And he came back and told me what happened. He said what he did was he showed her, my picture and talked about the experience, and because he felt like showing her my picture, it would explain, I don't know if it would explain, it just would be a part of the convincing, like, this is how she looks and, whatever, So he explained it to her, how it happened, and so he said in the end, she was like, now she had messed around with a girl, and, she was bisexual, she was willing to, talk about that, but when he told her about his experience, she was like, oh, okay, cool, and she asked a few questions, and she asked, had he messed around with a dude? Like, he was like, nah, I never did that. And he's like, I'm not attracted to dudes at all, blah, blah, blah. So they went back and forth about that, and she acted like she was cool with it. But after that moment, after he told her, her whole personality towards him changed. Like, he was dating her for, like 2 months. And he said there was no time that we didn't talk. Like, we talked all the time on the phone. We hung out. We went out to clubs. We went out to eat. He was like, it just was a constant interaction. We really enjoyed each other's company. And then when I told her that, she totally didn't fuck with me. She said cool in our conversation, but her action said, So months later happened. He stopped messing with her because, she acted funny. So he meets another woman that he's dating. Now, this whole time, he's not dating trans people. So he meets another woman. And the same chemistry happens because he is a good dude. He's a cool guy. Funny and cool. And so now it gets to the point where they are talking about what they have done in the past. So this time, I don't need to see this reaction. I tell him, don't say nothing. Leave it alone. But he says, I got to say something. If I like her as a person and I want to build something with this woman as my woman, then she needs to know about me. She needs to know what's up. So I want to tell her. I don't want to start this relationship off with like lies and she not knowing what's up. Because, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, but we've already been through this. See? And, you don't want to do that. Just leave it alone. We know half the time they're not going to accept it. So leave it alone. You're not going to cheat on her. You're not going to be messing around doing the download stuff. You're not going to do that. That's something she don't need to know. Leave it alone. Blah, blah, blah. Against my advice, he tells her. And once again, the same thing happens. The same exact thing. So my question for y'all is, we make this big deal about down low men coming and telling the truth and being honest, blah, blah, blah. And I don't even want to consider him a down low man because he's telling people. It's not like he's hiding it or, he's telling people that I've had this experience. He's not hiding it, la, la, la. But then he doesn't, when he does be honest about it, the effect is negative. With this Tony Newman stuff, when I'm looking at the blogs and looking at people talking about it, I just understand why these people just can't be honest and just tell it. Why are these men on down low? Why are they doing hiding? There is a reason and a logical reason why they don't talk about it, why they don't want to be open about it, because there is a stigma, there is a there's some negative backlash that could happen. That could affect their careers. That could affect their jobs. That could affect their homes. That could affect a lot of stuff. So, I wanted to share his story because this is a perfect example of somebody being honest and then there's some negative stuff happening behind it. Now, on the flip side, I'm not mad at the girls. If they're not cool with a guy that's like doing that or experimenting or then hey, I'm done. So I'm not saying that the girls are wrong, but what I'm saying is from the male perspective, being open and honest does not get what he wants. So if he knows he's a good guy and not trying to sneak around, why wouldn't he just say, I'm not even going to talk about that. That's not important. I don't need to be honest about that. I'm done with that. Tell me what y'all think because it's an interesting topic and I want to know how you guys feel about it. This is your girl Diamond. Thank you for watching. Mwah.